Welcome to the Postmodern Polymath Podcast. How you doing, comrades? This is Chris. It's been 3 months, and I know you have been waiting with bated breath for the next iteration of the best bearded podcast in this apartment complex. Today is January 27th, 2021. Lyman is coming, believe it or not, but as his style, he is late. So, and I had to start this before 7:09 p.m. before Facebook deletes it off of the stream off of whatever. I don't understand, but anyway. How y'all doing? It's been a while. Quarantine has changed nothing. Still sitting around on my fat ass, not doing much. There's some stuff going on right now that's kind of. Well, the one thing that I think is pretty funny right now is how the GameStop is getting schooled by a bunch of kids on Reddit, and they're fucking with their stocks, and their GameStop's losing a bunch of money on it, and they're bitching and moaning about it. And I think it's glorious that somebody's finally getting in their shit, this casino of theirs, and using it against them, because most of the time it's them fucking us over. So it's good to see somebody else get fucked over for once. Nothing much going on, right? So it's just another day in the dumpster fire that we call America. I just saw that a bill just came up before what is going to be proposed by I think Mark Warner and Susan Collins, that moderate, who they're going to present a bill trying to get. They said they don't know how it's enforceable. The article said they don't know how it would be enforceable. Try basically to get a resolution through that would basically keep Trump from running again. I don't know. I don't know how you do that. It's nowhere in the Constitution. I have an idea. I have a feeling that it's. They'll never get on with it. I mean, the Senate trial is just going nowhere because there's not enough Republicans to convict, and some of them are saying it's unconstitutional, which of course they are, because they're a bunch of seditious fucks. So one can only imagine the kind of shit they're going to pull to keep their Lord and Savior away from conviction. One would hope that the threat of death might, shake things up a little bit in their brain, but apparently that's not true. Ted Cruz, Wolverine's ugly brother, is still hanging on to is still hanging on as the leader, as the ringleader of the seditious fucks. I don't know, man. There's a couple of things the Biden administration's done that's, I mean, it's nice, but it's symbolic. Keep federal prisons from taking private private owners. Oh, hey, there's Lyman. How you doing, Lyman?
What's up, man?
So, Lyman.
Yes.
It's been a while. How you been?
It has. Tired, busy, avoiding COVID so far.
You have been avoiding COVID.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking you're just gonna run head first into like a big cloud of COVID or something.
I mean, that would be in true fashion. And needing a haircut too. Should have worn that hat like you.
Yeah, well, I haven't washed my hair in a week.
So. Well,
I don't do anything. I just sit around the house naked all the time. Now, that's a bonus. My OnlyFans, my only will be like, what's it called? Fans only or my fans?
OnlyFans?
Yeah.
That's right.
OnlyFans will be me, but it's just gonna be naked, me naked, walking around the house and shit.
Yeah, I think if I had an OnlyFans, it would probably be just like a webcam live of me laying on a couch in a blanket. Not just, and not like not clothed or anything, probably like in a flannel still,
Yeah,
maybe a beanie if it's really cold.
I like it. I like
I figured you would.
it. So you're doing okay? Anything going in your life that you want to talk about?
Let's see. What can I talk about?
Well, you don't have to.
Well, no. I started really committing myself to learning some coding after many years and much procrastination and dabbling. So that's what I've been doing with a lot of my time. And just kind of helping manage the homestead and theoretically the legal battles will be over on February 9th, but there's a chance it may get kicked back another 90 days. So we're 2.5 years in the making right now. But,
Not that long, huh?
Oh, yeah. Playing a lot of games, too. Like listening to music, stuff like that.
All right.
COVID life. How about you?
As I was talking about before you came on, it's the same old shit, bro. Oh, I did want to. I finally gave in and got one of these things, right?
Is it just vape juice, or were you going with the
This is
medicinals?
Yeah, this is Delta 8 extract, which is, I think I've told people, well, I don't know if I've been on here and said it, but it's like, it's snuck under the farm law, right? And it's basically called weed light because there's mild psychotropic effects, but you have to like smoke a lot of it.
Yeah, Delta.
No
Delta. It's because the laws specifically said THC Delta 7, and Delta 8 is a naturally occurring cannabinoid that, like you said, does that, but it is not controlled.
Some states have outlawed it, but not this one. Although
not federally, at least.
No, federally it's legal.
Yep.
It's not, I mean, check your state and what kind of fucking backward state you're in.
Is your state good?
Well, I mean, for this, I mean,
yeah.
We still, I mean, fucking Mississippi has medical now.
Do they?
Yeah.
Dude, Arizona passed recreational marijuana.
Bunch of old people. Probably got
but fucking okay, so Arizona passed medical marijuana in the late 90s at the first time. And they're like, didn't happen. And then it passed again in the early 2000s. They're like, well, we're too busy spending our time being racist against people, like checking for papers, Joe Arpaio. And what was interesting is during that time, the federal government was like, yo, you can't be racially profiling people and like pulling brown people over checking for papers. Like, that's not what we do. And Arizona was like, states' rights. And then when the people for the second or third time passed medical marijuana, they're like, whoa, we gotta check with the state, with the federal government, because it's illegal. But no, like this last election, it just before November, I forget when it was, they officially passed recreational, the same as Colorado and all that. But
well,
so that's cool.
It's reached a critical mass at this point. So many states have either have medicinal or recreational that it's not going anywhere.
And it makes sense for many reasons, but it's like, if like I can go buy a fifth of vodka or a handle of vodka or like 5/5 of vodka and like chug it and die of alcohol poisoning tonight. And they'd be like, wah, wah. And
sad day for us.
right? But then, if I'm like, you know what? My back hurts. Maybe I should try something else. And they'd be like, well, you could go get your opioids or you could just like eat handfuls of Advil. It just makes sense. Plus, honestly, if they're really worried about cutting the head off the cartels, it's the way to do it because capitalism 101, it's like the higher the risk, the higher the demand and the scarcity, the more expensive it gets. So like if it was federally legal, there would be no illegal drug trade with marijuana. That would be a big deal. But
Yeah, of course we all already, pretty much we're all capitalist haters around here, so we know what the deal is.
but you know what? I am psyched and I don't disbelieve for as much as I didn't want Biden as a person, but definitely wanted him more than Trump. Um, you saw that him and Kamala were committed to decriminalizing weed and expunging all weed related
I had not
records.
seen
Before the election, they said that they were going to decriminalize it federally and they were going to expunge all records with marijuana, non-violent marijuana related convictions.
that. Yeah, they said that. That don't mean shit to me.
And if they don't want another insurrection, that's like something they're gonna have to fall through with because that's never been promised by anybody.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. They also
They'll
promised
do it.
$2,000, but they trying to fucking get around that shit. So.
That's a little more complicated, just because budgets are supposed to be done by Congress.
Don't fucking say it.
Well, no, I agree. I agree with that. Like, put out. I don't understand why that's even a talking point. Like, regardless of your ideology, like conservative people are just as fucked as everyone else right now with COVID.
Well, let's kind of get it's been a while, and Biden, of course, became
It's been a
some
week.
people's. Has it been that long?
Yeah.
Has become some people's president. Of course, QAnon and all those fuckers still think. Well, some of them think that he's Trump. He's like Trump, but in like another body. I think
Trump in a mask.
or something, and they're waiting to a certain date. One of them I saw was 120,000 troops waiting to come in and arrest Biden. I don't know, man.
Dude, I've been I entrenched myself with QAnon over the last probably 10 months just to like people watch and talk. It is fucking fascinating and horrifying at the same time because I mean the first thing is they're not going away because it's not well let me step back. It is definitely a cult. There's no way around it because it's interesting because they don't really have an ideology. You don't necessarily have to have a religion, but they are heavily into the Christian extremists. Like they're all over in there. It's like for a lot of them since the election and even at the insurrection part, it stopped being about Trump and they're like, oh, we're doing this because God, basically a mission for God. So this is like God-given stuff. When it didn't work and Biden became elected, some people fell off because they were like, you know what, Trump misled us, fuck that guy. So good on them. But there's a lot of people that think that, Trump was just the wrong person. So this is like turned into a messiah hunt. And the really fascinating thing about it too is there is no leadership. And the people that, like, for lack of a better term, that I would say they view as prophets. Because do you know have you ever seen a Q drop?
I don't think so. Teardrop, is that what you said?
Q drop. like QAnon, Q drop.
No, was this recent?
No, that's how they get their messaging.
Oh, you're talking. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So what they do is on 4chan, 8chan, Luck 8 Luck, whatever they're using now. they get these. It looks like a really ultra bad, slightly too long haiku, and it will just be this nonsense. It'll be like water flows, mill, like short for military, intel, like faith, like rain, sleet, or snow. And it'll just be like this nonsense. It's not, there's not a sentence to be found. And they will sit there and they'll screen cap it and they'll all have these discussions about what the fuck it means. And what they'll do is like some of the more prominent figures that they somehow decide, like right now, Lynn Wood, Trump's ex lawyer,
Yeah.
that guy. He's basically like people go to him and they're like, "Here's a Q drop. What does it mean?" And he'll be like, "Blah blah 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 blah," and he'll make whatever shit up he wants to make out of it. And they generally, surprisingly, with not a lot of infighting, will be like, "You're right. You're totally right," and that's how they get their stuff. And if somebody like say he falls out, they will just be like, "Well, false prophet." And they'll find somebody else. So it's really strange because they don't have a leader. They don't have a solid ideology. There's a lot of like extraterrestrial lizard people, demons, angels. Like it sounds ridiculous, but it's true.
No, that's par for the course. Yeah.
But then they have a lot of like white supremacy in there. But QAnon's also really big outside of the United States, like south of the border, India, stuff like that. So it's like this hodgepodge of Christianity, which seems to be a ringing theme, and all these people that generally would normally want to probably like genocide each other, finding this common ground for this thing mixed with sovereign citizenship and run-of-the-mill conspiracy theories. So it's ridiculous. Like I could do like a 6-part documentary, an hour a piece on this stuff. It's not going away though.
There has to be one coming. You know.
Maybe
Someone's gonna have to do one eventually.
Maybe Natalie and I will have to take that route for a documentary.
So let's talk about Biden. Yeah, so he was sworn in. No lizard people came, or lizard people led by my pillow guy. You know.
Subpar pillow man, overly priced.
So he's in office, and most of it. There was his first day. He was signing a bunch of executive orders, which a lot of it was him just reversing shit that Trump had already written in the. I forgot all of them, but I think military, trans people in the military was one of them.
I think the trans one just happened recently.
He did a bunch recently.
There was like I think he's at like 30 of them so far. The day one was like 17 or 19 or something like that. He got rid of the PAYGO stuff, which was basically like, say you're the Delta 8 like agency of the government, and I'm the seltzer part of the government, and I'm like, yo, I need like more people. You have to like basically for for people that you bring in, you have to fire other people. You can't just like expand. You're just trading positions basically, to overly like simplify it. So that's gone away with. There's a lot, and it's good. It is good. It's low hanging fruit. Cautiously optimistic, but it is good. Like I haven't seen any trash come out of there yet, but
it's been a week.
Exactly, it's been a week. Like give them time for good and bad. Did you see the thing where there's a conspiracy theory going around that Biden is invading Syria with our troops?
Give me 1 second. I wanted to do this. Somebody just commented, and I wanted to put it up here because it's fun.
Do it.
See that? technology. Look,
What?
see right there.
Nick Morgan Moore. Hey, dudes. Hey,
And
dude, to you, sir.
he lives in Montgomery. I know him.
How did you do that?
It's you don't have the chat
Uh,
part I do.
I don't have the authority.
Yeah, you have to be the initiator of the stream.
I feel like they need to allow
Two
the
people.
main initiator to like delegate additional rights.
Oh, they're non-binary. Sorry, Nick, I didn't know that.
Wait,
So,
is Nick non-binary?
yeah, I didn't know. Just till now.
Hello, comrade. Better.
See, it's gender neutral, which is why.
Comrade is the best gender neutral, I think, salutation that you can have.
Yeah.
That is great.
So, yeah, you were talking about some. So Biden's invading Syria. So this is new. I hadn't heard this one.
So, how did you hear about it? Because I have a story about this.
You're the one who just told me.
All right, so I woke up in my random night. I either sleep like a baby or I'm like up like 100 times a night. Maybe start my day at 3-4 in the morning. I woke up and I turned over and I picked up my phone and somebody was like something to the extent of like, "Oh, what the fuck? Biden's invading Syria." I was like, "The fuck?" So like I stumble early morning, like which I just touched my button. It's like that's not your finger with the fingerprint. I'm like, sorry, open my phone. And I'm looking at this and there's an article posted. Like I'm still blurry eyed, so I don't look at who's posting it or like where it's from. I'm like, I gotta search this. So I fall back asleep mid search, like hand on my chest, like fall asleep with my phone. Wake up, and there's a handful of like Kurdish posts and like just random like news with a Z.com like places.
Yeah, that's.
You're right.
That's a pretty good chance that's probably not a legitimate news site.
And so I'm like, okay, this sounds like horse shit. And so I like just Google Biden Syria, and I don't see a single thing. I see that Syria asked Biden to withdraw troops that Trump sent like in May of last year after he fucked all that shit up, when he withdrew stuff and like people invaded and like sent more stuff and whatever. So the conspiracy theory, which I finally found posts talking about a conspiracy theory, like legitimate things, is places are trying to spread this notion that Biden is sending troops from the U.S. into Syria. It's 100% untrue. I even checked military.com, which, trust me, anything military, good, bad, or ugly.
That shit would be all over the place.
Dude, I checked the BBC. I checked,
bruh.
I checked every global entity I could think of.
You can't. So
no, it's garbage. Like, but what a random fucking thing to do.
You'd get at least one dude with a shitty cell phone finding the one spot in the town in Syria where he can get reception.
Dude,
he'd be fucking uploading that shit, man.
Well, yeah, and like if that was happening, like I'm sorry, not the Kurdish government, the Syrian government would be like, "Yo, what's up?" And like the BBC, the Australians, everybody would be reporting it. It's just such a random thing. Like I've been trying to figure out why that's a thing, because it seems really fucking random.
That's right. All right, we keep getting off the conspiracy theory shit. Let's just try to. I know it's hard.
It is hard.
It's
That's
so
our
crazy,
world.
But so Biden was writing all that stuff. One of them, there's one new one. Federal prisons can't use private contractors anymore, which is really more symbolic than anything else because most prisons are not federal; they're state or local. So. It's 110, but I mean, it's it's kind of a virtue signal.
I would agree with that. But
I mean,
I will say though, if they follow through on decriminalizing the marijuana, like both of them have committed to, that's a huge thing, especially expunging records. That would save a
that
lot
I
of
had
people some
not.
shit.
But see, did they say this recently?
They've said this up until within like less than a month before the actual election.
See,
I mean, and this is like not just like Bob's News with a Z. This is like this was
what I know, but I'm
widely
saying it was before the election. They say a ton of shit before
for
the
sure,
election.
for sure.
Oh, here's another comment. Wait, I love doing this. It doesn't take up the whole screen, unfortunately. At least it's a virtue signal in the right direction. Quite correct, uh, Nick. Sorry. And so some of this is what was another one? See, the thing is, a lot of this stuff was just him rolling back just crazy racist, just unnecessary shit that Trump did, like something of fairness in federal housing or some weird shit. There was some mention of I don't remember,
I
but
mean,
he just just unnecessarily fucking shit up, right? Being an asshole. So a lot of it was that him just basically reversing.
and that is true, but that's also a good thing because I mean, it's not one of those situations where oh well this happened under this person, they can take the blame for it, but we're not going to acknowledge it and address it. We're just going to like be like, oh hey, like Christmas again, right? And just forget about it. It's cool and extremely good because it doesn't always happen with every administration, albeit a lot of the administrations haven't always had this kind of um, you know egregious shit to reverse. But it is a positive thing because it could have just as easily been left to stay. Um, so I'm into it. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm not singing his praises. I'm giving the credit for the acts that have happened.
The senior cat in the household has decided to show their butt all over
Excellent.
my camera. So
I'm pulling up a list of the executive orders right now.
actually, that's good. That's good call there, Mr. Researcher. Um, like I said, there's a lot of it was that, and you're gonna have to look. Yeah,
All right, so I got a list here. I'm going to go down. I'm not going to read exactly what they do, but I will read what they are. First one, in no particular order. So far, this is from today backwards. Memorandum on restoring trust in government through scientific integrity and evidence-based policymaking. Executive order on President's Council of Advisors on Science and Technology. So it actually seems like science matters again.
He's reversing.
Executive order on tackling the climate crisis at home and abroad. And I'll give a link. I'm reading these off of the WhiteHouse.gov's subpage here. Memorandum on redressing our nation's and the federal government's history of discriminatory housing practices and policies. So, I will say this though, like as a whole, I haven't sat down to like flesh out exactly which is more of what, but the stuff he's rolled back with, like he rolled back the trans ban in the military. He rolled, and a lot of the stuff that certainly it is rolling back some stuff, but I think some of it also is expanding upon like some of the protections, like the fact that he's doing something for trans people and things like that.
That's important. Yeah,
it's super important. Like, again, I'm not like gonna fly a Biden flag in my front yard any day soon, but it's like
if I see one of those, I'm gonna be as pissed off as much. Well, not much.
I will too.
Let's be honest. But all right, so why don't you just read the ones that like are new, that something that strikes you?
All right, the newest ones I'm seeing here. This is
like
from
aren't just
boring.
him rolling back Trump shit. Like
Let's
new
see.
stuff he's implemented.
Let's see. There's, let's see, you already said the private prison one, which I don't know if he's in any way expanding upon it or if he's just rolling back stuff. Let's see. There's 4 pages of this. Good Lord.
Okay. So I did want to mention one thing that's pissed me off straight off the bat was all of a sudden it's not 2000, it's 1400. Now, if people wanted to argue with me on my Facebook page about this shit, I'm like, you can couch it any way you want to. You can twist yourself into pretzels to rationalize it. Once again, they fucking lied because they say $2,000 and they're well. He meant the $2,000 to 600 Trump already gave us, plus 1,400 more. No, motherfucker, that's not what he said. He didn't say all that.
And see, I just assumed when we got the 600 that when they said 2,000, let's change it to 2,000. I just assumed they were adding 1,400. So it wasn't like.
But it doesn't say that specifically.
I don't disagree. That was just like my assumption.
Well, right, no, but on the campaign trail in Georgia, that was like his big $2,000. You elect these Democrats, you're going to get $2,000, basically, is what he said.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say 1,400 more, which would have made more sense. He said $2,000. So, I mean, yeah, okay, I get it. All politicians, but it's just so fucking annoying. Why can't you just not fucking equivocate and shit, triangulate and all kinds of shit? Just fucking tell the truth, Mai. Come on.
I did find one thing, not to interrupt you. It's called Modernizing the Regulatory Review. Basically, what he's doing is, what he did is let's say you and I are in Trump's administration, the last waning hours of his existence in office. Anything that was shoved off to some agency or group or anything like that was suspended. Like the orders across the board was, if you got this between this date and now, you are to reject it, you are to hit pause, and everybody in their respective agencies and leaderships are supposed to take everything from a set of dates and review all of it. And then basically they're going to see what stays, what goes, but also there's a review of things that were passed in a slightly larger or a much larger span of time to review some of the rules and like things that have been funneled in under the radar or just in general. So I think that is a good thing, because that doesn't necessarily affect every only Trump stuff. That's like, does what we are doing make any fucking sense?
I got another comment, different person this time. John Livingston, who does Angry Black Rant Z, and he does the Angry Black Rant Facebook group.
Oh, really?
He's kind of a dick, but you can't have everything, I guess. Even though 2,000, when other countries are giving that a month, yeah, the $2,000, we're sitting here having to fucking beg for $2,000.
Well, that was what I was going to say before I found the thing I just read off. Is even if it was 1,400, it needs to be more frequently than once every fucking quarter. Like it needs to be like even like 1,400, 1,600, whatever. Even at this point, $1,000 a month would be great. That would help tremendously. And I know, like, $4 bazillion and all that stuff early last year was given to Wall Street. Like no one cares. It was given it not only like unfettered access to it, but it was in liquid funds. They could just do what the fuck they need to and want to with it. Like, I get it. But like at this point, honestly, I would like to see monthly money going to people, period.
No, right. And yeah, I was just thinking about how much money we give to oil companies and how much we gave the banks at the 2008 bailout.
Shit, how about there was like $4 billion that was given in March of last year to bail out fucking Wall Street.
I mean,
or was it 4 trillion? I think it was billion. was like $4 or $6 billion that was given to Wall Street in March, and the CARES Act, which, you know, imperfect as it may or may not be, has been sitting on McConnell's desk
Yep.
since May of last year, which had the money monthly, which had all this other stuff in it. Like, it had a lot of things. It's a big bill. And it passed the House bipartisanly. And he was like, you know what, I'm going to turtle up here and sit
McConnell's a
here.
bad. I mean, and people act like he caved a little bit on the power sharing agreement in the Senate, but
He can cave
I don't
shit.
trust that slimy fuck for nothing. He's got something up his sleeve. So.
No, he's a piece of shit. And you know what? I'm not encouraging anybody to go deface his house again, but if it happens, like, I'm not going to fucking shed a tear about it.
While you're up there, get Rand's ass again and fucking. Didn't he get assaulted or some shit?
Maybe we can crowdfund moving his former neighbor to wherever the fuck he is. We can move his neighbor for him that did assault him. You know, that is true. But it's like McConnell's worth like $40 million, and this old fuck wants to sit there and be like, well, people might not get money that they don't need, and they might get money that and you're like,
is he British?
no, he's a piece of shit. No. Does he? He doesn't talk. He's more like,
no, but he's.
I will not, blah, blah, blah.
I don't know what's happening here.
He's garbage.
You're doing
you know what I'm doing is irrelevant because that's what my life is. But at the end of the day, like, I want Schumer. The big thing is the filibuster right now. Have you been keeping up with that at all?
Oh, that's what part of the thing was. That's the one thing he finally caved on was the filibuster thing or whatever.
When was this? Because I haven't checked the news in on that in like 24 or 36 hours.
I don't know. It's been at least a couple of days.
So the last thing I saw day before yesterday was he's like, I'm going to filibuster this shit because I don't want the Democrats to be able to I don't want them to use like the 51 votes and I want them to need us, and I don't have the Senate anymore, but I'm going to try to maintain control from here.
The whole thing was them keep. John just said earlier today, which I could have swore it was before, but whatever. But I mean, McConnell keeps the filibuster. Or wait, this was so confusing to me. Yeah. The deal was you can keep the filibuster, but I forgot what the other thing was. I don't remember, but anyway, it's probably lame fucking. You know how these old ass people in the Senate are? They all kiss each other's ass. They know each other. It's gonna suck for people.
Of course.
In general, it's gonna suck for us. So I'm sure it's wonderful, or whatever. But go ahead.
Are you still listening to The Intercept recently?
I haven't listened to it recently.
Okay, so not the bonus episode, which is the most recent, but the one before that, they have AOC on talking about all the stuff. And one of the things that stood out to me was she was saying during, like, I don't know if it was they handed out orientation stuff this year or when it was, but she was saying that in there's like a list of all the committee chairs, right? Like the blah, blah, blah committee chair, all the leadership of the different groups, right? And there is a dollar amount associated with those, which is not binding in any legal way. But the things that they're using to choose leaders of these committee chairs is, the first thing is how long you've been there, how long you've been in your job. And then the second thing is that, okay, like, Chris, you've been in here since Strom Thurmond was a baby. But we want you to, if you want this House budget reconciliation chair, we want you to have raised, $40 million in fundraising to qualify for the chair, to be considered. So aside from tenure, there's also these unspoken rules of dollar amounts associated with being considered.
I'll have to go intercept.
Yes.
I haven't listened in a while, but if AOC's on there, she's married or her boyfriend's a ginger. His beard's like mine, so I got a chance. My chance is low, but it's never zero.
I mean,
Just remember that.
it's only 0 when you're dead, my friend.
So, he's right, of course, and he says Cruz is pushing term limits, which that's a thing he's always been fucking. Somebody's always with that shit. I know Cruz is a seditionist, so I don't give a fuck anything he says. So,
Fuck that guy.
what are some of the things Biden is pushing right now from his agenda? What are his major, his first 100 days? I think.
The weed thing is supposed to be in the first,
I,
if I remember correctly. Is I'm gonna look it up and I will
I,
put it in the chat myself.
I know coronavirus thing, of course, is the biggest thing as far as national health goes. They put the thing back together, exploratory. They got Fauci back, and he's fucking happy as a goddamn clam. Let me tell you, that motherfucker's smiling just like he just smoked a whole bowl of weed or some shit. I mean,
Wouldn't you if you didn't have to deal with fucking Trump anymore?
he even went on other shows and told when he didn't say like Trump's a bastard, but in a little diplomatic way, he was sitting there and like happy that he could actually talk again. So you know, so that's the main thing, getting the doses out. There still seems to be an issue. I think Trump fucked it up so bad initially that we're having to recover from his fucking fuck up fuck ups shit, and kind of get it back to a baseline, and then we're gonna have to finally get shit going the way it needs to be going. Of course, people are so fucking stupid.
Yes.
Anyway, so what else? What's another main thing? The climate thing you mentioned. A lot of this stuff, like I said, is symbolic.
I did find a thing 11 hours ago from Forbes talking about how some people, like in the cannabis industry, are cautiously optimistic about Biden administration has some cannabis professionals feeling hopeful but cautious. And
I mean, that's just a vague.
well, it has something to do with a specific act. Um,
Uh,
yeah, there's the MORE Act, which has been reactivated. And let's see what else. I genuinely think it will happen.
well, like I said, I believe it when I see it. Now, I do think it's important for people, and this is another thing kind of bothered me about Bernie, as he said he was going to legalize weed on day one. Well, you can't. You just can't, because you have to reschedule the drug. You can't just by presidential fiat legalize weed. There's a process you have to go through. It's scheduled as a Schedule One drug. It's going to have to be rescheduled. That's what it comes down to. And I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that an executive order can reschedule it though,
I don't think it can.
because
It can. Anything congressional that's been passed through the Congress can't be. I don't know how that works exactly, but there is a caveat, and I'm thinking they're going to have to go through the process of getting it rescheduled because they got the DEA so fucking firmly entrenched. God, what a shit organization. But anyway,
they could just get rid of the DAA. That'd be great.
well, yeah, that's one step. And get rid of ICE. Hell, get rid of Department of Homeland Security for that matter.
And I'll tell you the other reason why I'm cautiously optimistic about it is because legalizing weed federally did pass the House.
Yeah, but that doesn't. Bruh, it's just,
But it's a temperature take because it passed and the
I
world
understand
politically
why.
didn't explode.
I understand the optics and all that shit.
I think if tomorrow 99% of people were like, yeah, let's do this shit, people would do it. It's all political currency though. And so the fact that it passed the House and people aren't outside like burning down stuff and kicking over recycle bins about it. It's like a test, you know. You put your pinky in the water and you're like, all right, that's not.
They know they have the votes though. Not so much now. They fucking lost seats. Should be interesting. Of course, Pelosi just the most, and I'm not allowed apparently to say shit about Her Majesty Pelosi, at least
Why?
among some of the older folk who
Why?
seem to think centrist Democrats are just a wonderful group of people, and that she's playing 3D chess. She needs to play some Scotch. What is that? Shuffleboard on the cruise ship when she retires. His
Wait,
ass needs to
what?
go.
What is this about?
Just in general, Pelosi's ass just she sucks. She's just like the rest of the centrists. She's always pushing these bullshit like caving in when she doesn't have to. Fucking just Pelosi in general, I can't stand. We need more, but we need younger leadership. They're all dying. What if they died all in one
Hey,
day?
but that's the thing is the dinosaurs will die out, and at some point the old guard
I don't
will
know.
be buried, and so they don't have a choice anymore. Um,
Well, just can they die? Right?
that's part of it. I mean, that is part of it. If you can't change society enough to affect the politics, um, people just die.
They just need to hurry up and die. That's what it comes down
Yep.
to. So I bitched about that, but as far as I'm, I'm a person who doesn't like to get my hopes up for obvious reasons. But Biden, I mean, he's striking the right tone and all that. I do have uh, representation is important in government, but unless he gives people actual power to do shit, and they're not just fucking like window dressing, then I'm gonna be pissed. So hopefully he'll actually give them power, to do something.
And I mean, yeah, no, I agree with you. And I mean, the thing is, it's like, it doesn't really matter what the subject is, but like, I mean, let's talk, like, just to use Bernie as an example. Like, yes, if he had won, he could have come in and done X, Y, Z, theoretically. But the fact is, it's like, until society matches or reaches this certain point where the politicians no longer see what they're doing is a valuable act for political currency and constituency, um, like, most things aren't going to happen the way they should.
Well,
Like,
no, it's taking too
and it
long.
sucks. No, it's taken like decades too long. Like, most of the shit should have happened like when you and I were still riding our fucking bikes in the street. Like,
When I was, your ass wasn't even born probably,
what? You're not that old.
but
Nah.
yeah. So it's taking too long. I was hoping COVID might get rid of some of the big ones, but it's only gotten rid of little fish. Unfortunately, we haven't had any good ones drop yet. Unfortunately,
I do want to mention one other. It's the new
go.
guard of crazy. Lauren Boebert.
I think I've heard that name.
Okay. And then, what's her name? Marjorie Taylor Greene. Those
Yeah,
are
I've
the
heard
two.
that name.
Those are the two. They, I don't remember where Marjorie is from, but Lauren Boebert is in the House of Representatives from Colorado. Um, Lauren Boebert,
Oh, that chick.
they're both QAnon,
They're
like
crazy.
extreme QAnon people. But during the insurrection at the Capitol, Lauren Boebert was tweeting out information on her Twitter when they moved the politicians, when Pelosi was moved, like stuff like this. Like, I have a little collage of her
I've
tweets.
seen I've seen it before.
Yeah, like,
She's fucking. I don't know why she's not in jail. I mean, I know.
she fucking should be.
I mean, she was giving people tours. She was giving people hints of where they could do shit before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, look, he
Yeah,
was.
and there's more people that haven't, that I don't think they've been directly named, but either the FBI, Secret Service, or both have communications from other people inside of Congress. I forget which. I don't remember which wing. Um, that were explaining, if you go in this entrance on like the west side and you go here and you take a left, you're going to see this, and like giving instructions during this and before it, instructing people how to find the places they wanted to find.
So
Like,
yeah, her and Marjorie Green, she was calling for like the actual death of people, not specifically, I think, but yeah, they're crazy.
yeah,
They're fucking
no, they're batshit, and that's right alongside. Oh, I will be sure to tweet this out to Representative Townsend in Arizona, District 13 or District 16. She wrote up legislation prior to the insurrection that was to appoint alternate electors for Arizona and posted it to their government site for the new upcoming legislation. Posted on Twitter, saying that she had written this up to introduce in Arizona if it went how she thinks it's going to go. And once the insurrection happened, that tweet magically disappeared, but you can't delete legislation off the site. And so I dug it back up, and it is explicitly all the Republicans in Arizona basically saying, in a nutshell, we're going to use the Constitution of Arizona to basically say fair and free elections because this wasn't, you should let these people or us pick the person instead of the record turnout in Arizona for votership.
Well, the Supreme Court before the election said unfaithful electors are unconstitutional.
Yeah, but
So that's
these are all seditionists. Like, it's not controversial. Like, I have a thing for her to destroy her career, because this is not the first time I've had a problem with her. During Red for Ed, I had a real problem with her, like in person.
Wow. Okay.
We were at the state capitol. Like, all the teachers are out there doing their thing. We had marching bands from schools out there. And just, it was peaceful. It genuinely was peaceful. And she's on her Twitter. She's like, these teachers, Red for Ed, Red is communist. This is a communist takeover, MAGA, blah, blah, blah. And so she showed up, parked in the garage, walked to the Capitol, and the marching band started playing the Darth Vader theme song. And they let her go. Like, it wasn't a thing. She's on her little phone, like on Twitter and Facebook, like, I had to get police escorts into the Capitol because it was such a threat, blah, blah, blah. They keyed my car, and they put a picture. She took a picture of like the side of a car, right? Like a white car that was keyed for sure. And so, I mean, we were there, and we're like, this didn't happen. And so, reverse image lookup on Google, she picked like some random photo she got off the fucking internet that was used other places. And I tweeted her the photo and video of her walking in unabated. Yeah, she's a bitch.
People are, I mean, they're just fucking just like objectively stupid, right?
Yep.
They don't know how things. I mean, how do you not know that they can go back and look and find out that photo was a stock photo? I mean, how stupid are you? Get your head out of QAnon's lizard people's ass or whatever.
She's too busy. She's too busy, like, I don't know, like shooting guns and buying MAGA hats.
It's just, I mean, it's all performative bullshit. She probably goes home and.
No, she's fucking nuts, though. I've done a deep dive on her. She's just as batshit as the Lauren Boeberts and Marjorie Taylor Greens, for sure.
Well,
guaranteed.
God, I'm getting her in mind. I don't know. These people are just crazy. But anyway, yeah, I don't know that, to be honest with you, I don't know that a lot of these people actually took it seriously unless they were there. And even then, I think some people are just so fucking insulated that they don't think, even after this, they don't think anybody, it's all, they'll be protected no matter what.
Yep.
So, I mean, what would have happened if there was, I mean, they just let them go in. And, of course, it turns out the D.C. or they told the DC police chief not to do anything. Basically, they
Yeah,
told him not to let him in. So I mean, come on, they knew this shit was going to happen.
I'll have to find. I don't, you maybe you've seen it, but there's an article with I forget what organization it is. It was either Capitol Police or somebody over there that leading up to it, they were like, "Yo, we need like maybe some more people other than Capitol Police." And the chief of I don't remember if it was the Capitol. I think it was Capitol Chief, Capitol PD Chief, was like, "No, we're good." And there was like firm orders to not allow any other organizations to show up or
That
be added.
I do remember that.
Yeah, without prior authorization. And so there's like an interview that this person did talking about once things started getting out of control, like being like, "Yo, we need like National Guard, we need this," and going through like a 3.5 hour like phone tag where everyone's like hesitant. Yeah, everyone's hesitant to be like, "Yeah, let's just send them." They're like, "Well, the optics of sending this," and that was the excuse given in the beginning of not having them there to begin with, was, well, the optics of having the military there, on this, and like, oh, well, whatever. Um, and so after like 3.5, 4 hours, they finally got the okay. And the unofficial word before everything popped off was like, maybe you should just call the National Guard, this person over there, and tell them to quote unquote lean in. Um, I will tell you, as somebody that's been at the White House for the Black Lives Matter stuff, um, there was the military police, there was the DC Park Police, there was the Secret Service, there was I think because of the proximity, there were Capitol Police migrated over there. Um, there were exponentially more law enforcement there for I think it was like 4,000 people that were not violent, except like there were a couple people that lit some trash cans on fire. It's like whatever, but like, I mean, the entire time before that even happened, they were popping off like the pepper balls, stuff like that randomly. Like someone would sit on a wall and they'd shoot them with pepper balls and stuff like that. Like I have it all on tape. Um, but it's like there were hours of them provoking with 3 or 4 times the force of people there. So I mean, there's clearly the caucasity of the situation.
Which is power.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to keep. They just put a bill. They just introduced a bill trying to make DC the 51st state, which I thought was kind of interesting.
I think they should, and I think they should do that to Puerto Rico too.
Yeah, that's been tossed in there. But they had a plebiscite.
Oh, what?
Although Puerto Rico had a couple of votes about this, and they keep choosing independence. Although the vote is close, and there's talk of corruption. Go figure. So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't see the benefit. I mean, I don't know. I don't see the benefit of not having. It's like if you can have America from like over here, maybe we love you, but stay your ass over there.
Well,
So they can have the protection without having to be right up on them to get the worst of the fucking policies.
what's interesting, like with Puerto Rico, the big thing is like we've basically over years, arguably decades, taken away their economic like independence. Like, there's a board of some sort. I don't. It's not commerce. It's oh god, what the fuck is the word I'm looking for? There's a board of people that have been appointed to make certain decisions on behalf of Puerto Rico. Especially a lot of the things that have happened since they had the earthquake, tsunami, whatever,
Yeah.
early in Trump stuff that's been bungled. So like Puerto Rico's basically been hijacked, and there's people with 1% issues at the helm of this committee that make a lot of the decisions. And so we basically stripped them of their fiscal autonomy, put a fiscal board of people in there that have no interest in actually serving the people, and they don't have statehood. So
So, of course, they'll never get any traction with Republicans because D.C. is chocolate city. And they don't want all those black people in one go. Shit, you know how hard it would be for them to get elected if a lot of those chocolate people got to vote?
Oh, good lord, no,
I mean,
dude. I think the representative I was trying to remember the first name of in Arizona is Kelly Townsend. Um, I think I'm either blocked or she's left Facebook or left Twitter entirely.
who are you talking about?
Their Arizona Senate
Mark
representative.
Kelly?
No, Kelly Townsend,
Oh,
not the federal, not Mark Kelly and Kristen Sinema,
okay, okay,
the state,
okay.
but the GOP in Arizona is particularly bad right now, above
So,
above and beyond.
Arizona's like fucking Tennessee and that West and shit.
Dude, they're trying to unseat y'all. They're trying to unseat you guys, and they're trying to unseat Florida.
And Arizona just went blue. And that's what makes me mad, man. Damn, we got Memphis and Nashville aren't small cities.
This person, that's not showing up on there.
She looks
Kelly
like Marshall
Town.
Blackburn or whatever. They
Yeah,
all look the
well,
same.
yeah, they do. White
White, blonde,
and hair.
fucking the hair and the fucking attitude. I hate it. Fake ass bitches.
You know what's awesome though? I will track her down, and they can't change the government stuff. If you're interested, I'll send you the legislation she wrote to basically nullify the entire voter base of Arizona.
The what?
The voter base, like the alternate electors.
Well, they're all doing this. They're all doing this. They're gonna start doing these voter suppression in a lot of these states. If they're controlled, the legislatures, the state legislatures are controlled by Republicans. They're going to make it harder because they know if people actually come out and Stacey Abrams, our patron, our saint, Stacey Abrams, got out there and turned Georgia blue. What do you think's going to happen? They're going to be Stacey Abrams school of, flipping shit or some shit.
There needs to be.
And if that spreads throughout the South, man, Tennessee. I mean, like I said, we got Nashville and Memphis. And
are they blue?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that much about the politics.
Memphis is majority black, actually, and Nashville's just liberal anyway.
So, as a whole, is the state more blue or more red?
That's the issue, and that's the issue. Georgia. Until the suburbs grew out, we haven't had Nashville suburbs grow out enough to get that kind of a liberal bend. We'll see, but you're already seeing a lot of these people moving out of the city because they can't afford to live there, so it's pushed them out further into the suburbs. So we'll see how long it takes for that to kind of simmer. I think
so. Is it heavily gentrified or like?
Okay, so Memphis is garbage. The suburbs are garbage. They're a bunch of rich white people who want nothing to do with Chocolate City. They want nothing to do with them.
What is Chocolate City?
Memphis.
Is that because of the black population? I'm guessing.
Yeah, they're like, I don't want black people. They don't want to. They hate them. They just straight up racist. So Memphis is kind of locked in.
Right.
But Nashville has more of a dynamic because Memphis has been around forever, right? It's been a city. Nashville has never really been that big of a city before, and it's just growing so much at one time. Gives me hope that this blue is going to kind of spread around the suburbs. That's what happened in Georgia. The suburbs got them in, and they spread out.
I was not optimistic about Georgia. I wanted it, obviously.
I don't think anybody is when it comes to the South because they've fucked shit up for so long.
It's true, but I think the mistake that most people make, and I have made in years, is just like the Southern politics are not good generally. but I think we forget that like the people there aren't necessarily reflective of the politics. You know what I mean? Like, because I mean, Georgia is a good example. Like in a million years, if someone was like Georgia's going to flip blue, I'd be like, nah, okay, like that's nice, but they did. Like, and it's
because
the
of
voter suppression and the gerrymandering and things like that.
certainly that's a huge factor.
That's a
Certainly.
big fact. So I think people that generalize, the idea of the hillbilly and the redneck, which do exist, and the classic tropes of Southern statehood are probably like people. I think
No, a lot of them
recognize
are
that.
kind of racist.
Well,
If I'm
yeah,
gonna be now, the super poor ones, uh, it's a little different because I mean, if you're that poor, you're not worried about going to vote. They can't. Probably felons. There's been a lot of, I mean, black and white people. There's lots of mixing. I mean, so there's if you're super poor, that's all kind of. It's not quite the most of the staunch Trump supporters come from like the middle class. Those motherfuckers that showed up at the Capitol, these motherfuckers had time and they could take money,
to
right,
get there.
to
Yeah,
get there. So obviously these are not poor people. These are your fucking small business owners with your little fucking big ass coal burning trucks and your, live free and die flag on your fucking shitty ass foreign truck.
I guess
Foreign.
the thing. I guess the thing that is obviously then the end goal of like changing the politics of the South, whether it be the Southeast or the Southwest, um, is that there's not just to write off the population of the southern states.
Oh well, that
As,
part. Yeah, we're
yeah,
here. People
but I
like
mean, like
us are
people
here.
outside of that and don't necessarily know anybody from there and don't have access to it, don't have interest in it. From the Midwest or the Northwest or whoever, it's just like, oh, the South are just racist. Redneck
Oh
hillbilly
yeah,
white
I
people.
mean whatever.
But it's important though.
Well, it is, and but if at
It's a
this point,
stereotype.
because I know stereotypes, right? Because I'm
Sure.
so or the biggest receiver, but I also jokingly I will talk shit about California because of Robin, but you know,
Is
other
Rob from
than
California?
yeah. So yeah, don't so let's not say exactly where. So, but
I don't know anything about it.
good. It's good you keep it that way.
I just the state.
But yeah, I would make the California stuff. But I'm not. I mean, I understand that people are not those stereotypes. Don't hold. Now there are some. There are stereotypes for a reason, but these are individuals. These are not just like some big blob of humanity or some
Yeah,
shit.
exactly.
So, having said that,
Don't give up on the South. Just try to get people
if you can
able.
avoid this place, Jesus, and they're getting scared, so it's getting even more. These white people are scared, so it's getting even more like obvious what the fuck they're doing. They're not even trying to hide the fact they're suppressing the vote because they're terrified. They're going to become the minority soon.
Dude, they don't try to hide the vote or hide the suppression. Um, on but off topic. How do you feel about Trey Crowder?
Yeah, that is off. I
He's
like
from the South, but he's
the
the
redneck
liberal
liberal.
redneck.
Yeah, or liberal
I,
redneck.
I like him. I like also aside from his politics, the fact that he's kind of like breaking down this like idea that the South is lost to this stereotype. Because I know a lot of people that have never interacted with people from the South that just think everyone in the South is just like the Confederate flag waving, white gravy.
But those, no, see, there are good things. Let's just go ahead and. This is what kind of pisses me off because there are parts like the food, the culture, kind of it's hot as fuck. You hang around with fans on and shit, and you outside sweating your ass off and shit. These are universal truths that that are stripped of any sort of fuck what the human even is. The weather doesn't give a fuck if you're a lizard or a fucking old human, right? They don't give a fuck, right?
It's like
So
it's
there
like
are good
it's like a
parts.
desert.
I mean, there are things we could come together on if we really wanted to, like hot chicken here. You know, a lot of people, white and black, like it. So you find that kind of stuff, the positive shit.
And
You
the
just get
blue.
rid of the racism, and it's hard to get rid of 400 years of just whoosh,
I guess that's
whatever.
kind of, I guess that's kind of what like I'm not directly saying is it's like I think if anybody out there that number one thinks their vote doesn't count, like number one, the presidency was decided by if you normalize all the votes with the amount of electoral college votes that were involved, it was like right around 40,000 votes, just over 40 some thousand votes that decided the presidency. That's how close it was. If you take the states, normalize all the votes between them, and figure out how much wins or losses were had by. Um, and then, especially with the Georgia going blue with the Senate stuff, it's like I think some people just forget that there are individuals down there, and there's a lot of suppression and oppression and things like that that prevent people from voting the way they probably would. And while these stereotypes are there for a reason about the South, it's like it shouldn't just be written off as a bunch of white hillbillies. And there's stuff that, there's
Yeah.
viability down there for politics.
Nick Morganmore, again posted. It's fair to recognize that description of the racist stereotype fits a lot of lawmakers in the South, like more than the average population. But people keep voting against their self interests, and then seeing Georgia flip blue was very exciting. If they get more people registered in Alabama, it could someday flip. Oh, this is nice. This guy was from, I don't know if well, you should. We fucking interviewed the guys from uh, Dixie the Proletariat. Remember the two
I
guys?
do.
Yeah.
Yo.
And then he says something I can't really repeat. So, wait.
Expletives. Got it.
No.
Got it.
My homeboys are back. Like the white way.
My ninjas are back.
Good to see you, Tommy. He wants us to have him back on, so I thought we maybe could set that up.
Yeah, and actually, remind me after we're done because I had some ideas for some thematic episodes too. For guests.
So there's a lot to get excited about, y'all. Lyman's actually coming out with ideas now.
I gotta.
Whether he actually follows through on these ideas.
Oh, you shut your hole. I will.
We shall
I've had a long time to think about it.
We shall see. I guess we should. It's already been over an hour, which we hadn't done it for a while, so who gives a fuck? But
Okay.
so the last going forward, and we'll say in the recent future, in the 100 days, what do you like? What would you like to see Biden do? Kind of. I'm not talking
100 days ish.
Yeah,
100 days ish.
Yeah.
First and foremost, COVID relief that matters. Like that would be really good. Yes, we'll leave it at that, so I don't get off the rails too far, because I do. I would like to see. I would like to see at least decriminalization, because I mean, that's like basically the middle ground between the House passed bill to legalize. While it's not sufficient, it is life changing for a lot of people. I would like to see. I would like to see a legitimate push for real healthcare for people. Ideally, some form of socialized healthcare,
You can forget about that.
but something like.
I said the first 100 days. I didn't say the first 100 years.
Let's see what else. I would like to see him withdraw troops from Syria and the Middle East. I would like to see that at least planned and staged out, like some sort of exit strategy, because fuck, it's been like we're going on almost 20 years. 20 fucking years.
I'm in Afghanistan for fucking.
And this won't happen, but it will always be on my list every administration. is I would like to see Edward Snowden pardoned. At least pardoned. I would like to see all the people that the Espionage Act under Obama and Trump have been used for whistleblowing.
Yeah, they use a fucking 100-year-old law.
Yeah.
To try to justify.
To do something that it's not meant to do.
Yeah.
And like, I won't.
That was a good law to begin with.
No, right. It wasn't. It wasn't necessarily good, but like, that's a whole nother long topic. But I mean, Julian Assange, we'll just not get in the weeds with him because I have opinions about a lot of things with him, good and bad. But the Espionage Act has no fucking business being done with him. Chelsea Manning, reality winners, all these people. There's no fucking reason for the Espionage Act to be involved with any of these fucking people, and also like on the same basis, it's like for whistleblowing, there needs to be if people don't like and the government doesn't like people spilling the beans the way we've been doing it, there needs to be a legitimate way to do it that protects people but still has some accountability. And I know that is a fucking, that's like a birthday wish that won't come true. But
we got a couple of comments, more than usual. Daniel Chris, who is, well, we're changing the name. Satanic, skeptical Satanist. I do that every time. And I'm co-host with him on that, whatever the new podcast is, if he ever gets his head out of his ass long enough. But that one I won't actually have to do anything technical. So I'm just there to look sexy and, give my opinion. And you're stealing his man.
So Daniel's got you as the eye candy.
Pretty much. I mean,
yeah, I get it.
I'm really smart too.
Of course. Yeah.
Tommy, again, co-host Dixon Land of the Proletariat. You're pipe dreaming. Biden won't do any of that, but still, free Snowden, free Assange. I don't know about Assange, honestly. But anyway,
well, Assange should be at least freed from the Espionage Act aspect of it.
Well, that part. Glad to see you guys up again. Hating horns, Daniel. Okay, you better get with my shit. Call me. Okay.
And to the pipe dreaming, I recognize that is true, but like there are things that whether we think they're going to happen or not, have to hope for and shoot for and press for.
Yeah, I know.
Aim high.
Really? No, that's the Air Force.
No disagreement.
I'm gonna need you not to use that one again. I'm gonna have to ask you to cease and desist.
Hey, they tried to recruit me, so I'm a special.
My dad was in the Air Force. If I had to go into one, it'd be the Air Force.
Me
or
too.
The Space Force. Whatever happened? Is that going to be a real thing? Or
holy shit! Oh, you just reminded me of something with the Space Force. You remember the power outages in Illinois and one other state or city, Chicago, something like that. There were 2 power outages during I think it was just before or just after the election that happened, like big ones. I think you just unplugged your mic. Say something. Okay.
I did it on purpose because this cat's knocking the microphone.
Oh, okay. QAnon thinks that those big power outages was the Space Force using satellites to knock out the power strategically for part of the plan. And in March, just mark it down, everybody. In March, I think it's March 4th or March 9th, Trump is supposed to be reinstated as president, because in 1871, I won't go into the weeds as to why, the United States was sold to Britain as a state, and we are no longer a state. We are now a corporation, which is why you see United States in all caps on everything.
Lord.
And so once this happens, March 4th or March 9th, can't remember, all of the laws past 1871 will be nullified. And so we'll be set back to 1871. So if you're a woman, congrats on voting in your last election. And cool.
Uh,
That's the story.
and it's because, and it's like these guys are so bored and lone. They don't feel like they have. They need something. These conspiracy theories are just fun. Well, they're not fun. They can be. Don't get me wrong. But these motherfuckers take it to a whole new level. But it's because their lives are so sad and insignificant.
But
Somebody needs to get them laid, or they need to get them a hobby. That's the
dude,
problem. That's all
we
I'm
need to
saying.
get them debriefed because honestly, like there's a percentage that are what you just said, but there's a large percentage that is like a mix of conspiracy theory, Christian extremism, and just general right wing extremism that all come together. And because of the way they function, there's no, it's not like Heaven's Gate where it's like, oh, the Hale Bopp went by and everyone died. Oh, you missed your boat. Or like this, like deadline. It's, they keep, it evolves. Like whoever is relevant at the time, like the Linwood, there's going to be other Linwoods. There's going to be all this stuff which they divine as prophets. And when it doesn't happen, it's not that it wasn't true. They were just the wrong person. It's this anomalous, like dynamic thing that just keeps happening. Like it's QAnon is either going to evolve or stay the same, but it's going to exist for a long time. And this is like an amalgamation of all the worst parts of our society that somehow found common ground and are
Well,
festering.
that's not anything new. Coalitions of crazy people, silent majority,
But I
um,
mean,
John
it
Birch
is it
Society.
it is different from the standpoint that they don't have this hard and fast ideology. And on top of that, they don't see it as like the believers and the non-believers. They categorize anyone that is not a believer as either adversary or enemy. Like 100%, the diehard people in that would be tantamount to the suicide bomber in the middle of Afghanistan if they had the justification to think that God sent them there.
Right, right.
Like it is jarring. It's very different from most cults and most extremist stuff that we've seen in the past.
Right. Uh, I want you. Tommy said, "I still love you, Lyman."
Kisses, my friend.
And this is from Nick again. Everyone is looking the wrong direction. Space Force is a waste of time. We need sub Terraforce. Stop the mole men. Okay, he's on. He's smoking some shit. I don't know what's happening there. Uh,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
back to 1817, 71. Tribalism. Here's another one from your boyfriend. Their COVID board, only 40 plus year olds, hey, fuck you, are discovering the internet for the first time. Wait a minute, don't put me in this fucking shit. They can't decipher truth. They're literally lost in a 4chan meme, which I actually don't disagree with. These people are stuck in a bubble with, well, Snoozemax, I guess, now. And fucking
Oh, and
Rush and all that shit. So they're in a bubble. Not unlike some other bubbles. Bubbles, they're a thing. But these motherfuckers are they're just too dumb, too unself aware, they're just not very curious. So when they see something come along that checks all the boxes, then they want to get on because it makes them feel important. Anyway, so anyway, so my lists, I'm not going to be as verbose as the L Dog, which is I know totally. Uh, it's hard for you to believe, really. So the COVID, of course, is priority one. Yeah, we got to get that shit knocked out. We got to. What's the emergency? What is it? When you get wartime powers and you can over the federal government distributes supplies and shit. War Production Act. That's what it was. Like in World War II, everything got turned in the service of making bombs and shit, whatever. So they need to do that to get that shit knocked out right away. They really need to fucking just make Moderna and whoever Pfizer, I think, is the other one.
Yeah.
They're trying to reclaim shit money because they used extras, and they want their money back, right? So I
Wait,
say,
what?
what was it? Some doses there's too much and they have to be repackaged or something. I don't remember exactly, but they want they want credit back to them for that, for the ones that are not used or whatever.
The pharmaceutical company.
Yeah, they're fucking greedy fucks. So I
They
say
can
just
suck
nationalize
everyone's
it.
dick.
Nationalize vaccines and fuck you. That's what I say. I mean, it's a national health issue.
So the guaranteed, theoretical guarantee of, at least in this country, let's just say 300 million people. Let's just say that there's the excess that are dumb enough to not do it, plus the amount that they send out to other countries that they want a fucking FedEx credit, basically.
I'm just saying they're garbage.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
So anyway, so we get the COVID stuff, which was hobbled to begin with. If we can go, they're saying into summer, but I think that's too optimistic because it depends on the part of the country. That's going to be an issue. So if you live in the South, stay your ass in the cities.
Same for Arizona. Like just and
If
stay
you have
home.
to go somewhere, well, if you have to absolutely go somewhere, stay in your car as much as possible. These fuckers are plague rats. They don't give a fuck. Trust me on this. They think it's cute. They think it's funny. And you see those videos when you call them out. You've seen the videos. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I mean, I could get somebody's face, and what's the point? You get on video, and it's pointless. Nothing changes. What you do is you just kick their asses out, and then you fucking need a fucking quarantine them all in like a big football stadium. They love football around here. Just put them in a big football stadium and let them all just die off.
I got a story. So my attorney, his friend went into a t-shirt store in Arizona with his 9-year-old son, and they were masked up, and they went in, and the store owner pulled a gun on them. I can give you the article. It made the news. Pulled a gun on them, and cops came and all that stuff. Long story short is the store has a no mask policy. And through the articles that I read, first I heard it from my lawyer because he was just like talking to me about it. And then I saw the article, and like, this is the store that like outside has like a punching bag on like a spring that's on the floor with Biden's face on it. And it's like punch Biden on the way in. Like, that's the kind of fucking people we're dealing with. QAnon, MAGA, whatever. And here's the fucked up part is like the health department in Maricopa County says like people need to wear a fucking mask. The state hasn't done anything. Like, they're a fucking atrocity. Yeah. But the counties and some cities have their own sets of rules. And so it says that everyone has to be wearing it. So he walked in with his young son, was following the rules, got a gun pulled on him. They called the police, and the police are helping him press charges against him, are helping the owner press charges against the guy and his son for trespassing during business hours, all this other shit because he was wearing a fucking mask. And the cops are on this. The cops are like, yeah, totally, bro. Yeah, MAGA.
Technically, it is legal. I have to say that. First off, I didn't say it was right.
To what?
If he has a warning that he has the masks and shit, don't come in here, and you come in there anyway. That's trust.
But you can't. But it's a state. But it's a county mandate.
Oh, well, okay.
They're inside Maricopa. They're inside Maricopa County, and so everybody's supposed to be wearing the masks if you're in that county. The store is in the county, and this guy's a jerk off. Exactly.
They don't give a shit around.
So this fella is not necessarily. I wouldn't categorize them as rich, but they are not hurting, and so there's going to be a big legal battle with that big high-powered lawyers in Arizona, and they're gonna take this fucking jackass to task. Because and the part that really got me is the cops are helping press charges. Like, it's a fucking county mandate.
Have to?
No, because listen, like that's like, let me put it this way. Let's say your county that you're in says everyone has to wear a mask, and you go to the grocery store down the street, and you walk in, and they pull a gun on you, and they're like, "Fuck you," and the cops come, and they're like, "Well, we have a no mask policy, even though there's a county policy that we all have," and I want to. Like, first of all, it's public business. Like, it's during business hours. There's no trespassing. He wasn't asked to leave. They pulled a gun on him.
Well, I'm not
Like-
talking about that part. I just meant, like, technically. Okay, something's happening over here. I just want you to see this. Tommy's getting a little friendly.
Ooh.
When a sexy bear and otter team up to talk politics.
Who's who?
Hashtag cream jeans. I know the terminology because I studied up on this too. I want to be cool.
I know what
with the gays.
I know what a bear is. I don't know what the fucking otter is, other than like one of my favorite.
It's just a regular dude, basically.
Oh, that's the kindest thing people have said to me in a long time.
That's interesting. I haven't heard that one. That's kind of flattering, actually.
Sure.
And then Daniel, you guys rock. Hope to chat with both of you soon. I'll bring the good looks. Well, that part is true. The ladies love it. He's hot. Unfortunately, he's got the personality of a brick wall, but we're trying to change that. No, Daniel.
Oh, I heard personality of a brick wall, and I was like, that's.
Well, you're not the only one, but
I
calm down. Calm down. You're not unique in that aspect, okay?
Trust me, I get it.
But yeah, we've actually had a good viewership this time. And I haven't had a show in a while, so I don't feel too bad about going somewhat over. But let me finish up. My Biden wishes something marijuana is not as important as the other stuff. Prison reform, which, like I said, he closed 110 prisons, federal prisons, which is a drop in the bucket. And
It is.
By law, they're the only prisons he can do that to, federal prisons, and there's only like 110. But I mean, it's not nothing, right? I mean, of course, he's put all these, all the diversity in the position, the administration positions.
That is something noteworthy. I mean, I'd say this, for what it is worth on its own merits, like there are a lot of people of different demographics in positions in here that certainly I don't think would have under any previous administrations. I think that's a big deal.
And I will say this: I heard this on. They brought it up on the Majority Report, which you should definitely watch. It's like a news show, leftist news show. But anyway, Biden is dead center of whatever the current Democratic consensus is, basically, and it's some testament to the fact that we leftists have made a little ground, at least, that we're able to. The center has shifted somewhat. The Overton window has shifted ever so little. I mean, I know it's slow, whatever. I'm not delusional, but it has shifted a little bit left. On certain aspects, of course, it's not enough, obviously, and it's tiny increments, but still. We got to get where ones we can get, I guess. Do what?
It's worth recognizing, even if it's like a few granules of progress. That's a good thing.
So, yeah, the positions in the administration. He already. It's like I said before, he just reversed a bunch of dumb shit. Did you know that on the last day, Trump fired the butler who'd been there for 100 years?
What?
Yeah, he just fired the butler for no fucking reason. Just to be a dick.
Probably because he knew that guy heard some shit. Didn't want him saying anything.
Tommy says socially left, economically conservative are the Democrats. Yeah, that's about right. Well, economically conservative is putting it mildly to me. Neoliberalism is a fucking blight upon the.
And it is tough to like economically conservative is kind of a non-starter and kind of antithetical to being politically left.
I mean, I
Because,
know he's shorthand. He's using that as shorthand. He's
right.
talking about what the Democrats are.
Oh yeah.
But I know what he's saying. I'm not. It's just
A nice way of saying centrist.
they gave the fucking they saw Republicans winning being fucking corporate shills. So they said, "Hey, Clinton's like, why not? Let's just play their game and fucking be exactly the same." Have you seen the memes with like it's like a big ass warplane and shit, and it says U.S. on it, right? And it's Republicans, but and the Democrats are the same plane, but it's got like the rainbow colors or whatever on there, right?
I, I think the thing to remember in general is most of the problems that we have are not like obviously both parties are not the same. Like that is demonstrably a fact. However, a lot of the problems that they both share are U.S. problems, and if people really want, like number one, when we can get progress, small or large or medium, like we need to take it. But at the same time, like most people tend, and I think that's gotten a little better over the last like 4 or 5 years. Most people, get really hyped up for the presidency and then see you in 4 years. And they need to also do work to change. I mean, again, like I said, you have to change people. Like you have to change mind, you have to change society because politics will follow society. Because if nobody
Oh.
or not enough people, it's true though.
So, well, yeah, but sometimes you gotta push it.
You do. There is a time where you have to push it, but when you can't push it as fast as you want, in the interim
All right.
between presidencies and between midterms,
I
like
don't disagree with that at all. But on
there's
the
never
macro, and ideally, but I don't see.
people need to all like Trump's not in. We have Biden. Awesome. It's not Trump. But there's like midterms coming up. What are you going to do between now and then? And then after the midterms, what are you going to do between now and later? Like, there's never a time to sit on your rest on your laurels and do nothing and
Well, I
celebrate. Like,
can.
you can feel good for a little bit. And I don't mean you. I know you get it, but like in general, like you can take a breath, take your wins, take your gains, relax for a minute, and then get the fuck back out there, organize, do your stuff. Like,
I
it's
mean,
important.
the change comes from the ground up. These people who
Mhm.
concentrate so much on the presidential and don't pay enough attention to their local races and shit.
Totally.
I mean, politics are local. Yeah, it's a trope, but I mean, it's kind of true. I mean, shit. I mean, you need to worry about your state. Your state has more power over the shit you do, the shit that goes on in your everyday life, than feds do. I mean, what are the feds when it comes right down to it? They can only make the states do states' rights, right? States' rights. You're gonna make, yeah,
Uh,
you
until
know,
it's not.
it doesn't. Most Fed shit won't even affect you. Like we can't even get Medicare, the Medicaid. They never took Medicaid expansion because it's a red state. Apparently, they don't believe in getting money to help poor people, while every rural hospital in the state is shutting down because of lack of funding. And there are people who live out there, but let's just let them die. But those same fuckers keep voting for the motherfuckers who make the rural hospitals. Okay, I'm getting off track here. I'm getting a little upset.
I'm with you.
So anyway, but yeah,
The
uh,
TLDR is regardless of what election is or isn't happening, you need to be pushing. And when the election gets closer, you need to be pushing even harder because you have to build momentum. Like not to be cliche, but it is like a wave. You have to like build it up before it crashes. And the more you outreach, even if there's not a fucking election coming up, like you do influence people. We're not talking about the most extreme people you see on TV that are kicking in the door of the Capitol. That's not who we're talking about. Like we're talking that's an extraordinary minority of people. Like push for people to be able to
well,
vote.
we
Like
know, we know you're the king of
mhm.
talking to people that are crazy. You love, I don't
Yes,
know what it
yes,
is with
yes.
you and wanting to talk to crazy folk. I ain't got time for all that, but you over here trying to be fucking diplomat like you're fucking Madeleine Albright or some goddamn shit.
More like deep throat, honestly, at this point.
So I mean, oh, that's right. No, you're in Maryland. No, it's not legal in Maryland, is it?
Nope.
But your eyes tell me,
That I'm tired.
well, no, yes.
No, but it is true because I got up early. I took kids to school. I came home. I've been crash coursing some coding. Picked up the kids. Came home. Here I am.
Oh, did you hear about fucking? I don't even care. It's off topic. I already told you what Biden needs to do. We all know. But we're going off topic. But the guy from the Proud Boys, it's your boy, Enrique, what's his name?
Enrique?
He was an FBI informant.
What?
Go look! How did you not know this? This from yesterday. They found out he was a fucking informant for the FBI, like in 2014 or some shit.
Oh, in 2014? Well, listen.
Not right now.
But here's the thing. Like, all these fucking people, when they get pinched, or they're about to get pinched, there's no honor among thieves. They will roll on each other before they end up in the fucking clink.
Well, that's the thing we can hope for, because if you've seen the Unite the Right thing, they didn't unite too well. That. They don't unite too well together. The neo Nazis, the KKK, the fucking white nationalist types, they don't necessarily all get along.
No, not necessarily.
So I mean, we can take advantage of that chaos.
Did I ever tell you about how I got after Charlottesville with the Unite the Right thing? Remember how there were other Unite the Rights that were trying to kick off in other states after that?
Yeah.
I got the one in Arizona shut down, personally.
I don't believe it. See, there's another thing about lying.
Personally.
He's just a liar.
No, shut your whore mouth. I got asked to help with the web presence to advertise for Tucson. And Tucson revoked their license, their permit, I should say, to have it. Based on the fact I dumped all this stuff with Gavin McGinnis and all this other data and chats and emails and everything on the front door of the fucking state and the city.
Let me see the bottle.
Bottle?
Yeah, let me see. Oh, here you come. Damn it. No, what's it say?
Strawberry farm cake. It's strawberry cheesecake.
Is it the real thing or is it CBD?
No. It's just vape juice.
Oh, it's just vape juice. Okay.
Yeah.
I forget not everybody's a fucking dopehead like me now.
Yeah.
Now I smoke all the time now. Save money on beer. I'm a fucking addict. At least I'm not on heroin. All right, we got another cat. Circe has decided to join me.
No, but I did, like, hand to this guy. I did get asked by some people who before we only knew of the Proud Boys like peripherally at that point. Asked me to go to a suburb in Arizona to go meet them with their new friends who were part of the Proud Boys, and I was like, fuck the Proud Boys, and they're like, they're really just a men's club. And the explanation for the Proud Boys, I shit you not, and I will give you the link to it, was the name Proud Boys comes from a song in Aladdin the Musical about being a proud boy. And they sent me this link. And so I was like, nah, I'm good. But I was like, yeah, I'll take a look at the website. I didn't know it was a Unite the Right thing. I didn't know anything about it. I knew it was, well, we're just doing a bipartisan meeting down in Tucson. And
get off the keyboard.
And so I, based on that, I was like, all right, I'll take a look at it. So I go in and I look and I see all these communications and I see all the content for the web design and all that stuff. And I was like, oh no, absolutely not. Fuck Gavin McGinnis and all these people. And so sat around for a little bit, packaged it all up in a nice ball. City of Tucson, state of Arizona. Bye.
Ain't you fancy? Ain't
I don't
you
know
Mr.
about fancy,
Fancy?
but
Okay, I'm down. All right. What I'm not down with is cat butt. Need to get out of my face. Okay.
still
There's
better
one
than a
more.
Trump tweet. Just saying.
Oh yeah, that's another one. You haven't seen a Trump tweet. It's like a fucking just that alone is just like so abnormal. You know, it's like I don't remember a time when those dark days of yore. You know. Um. Anyway, Tommy Hatcher said I was dank as fuck. I guess because I'm smoking. Um.
Sure.
It's pretty And on that note, wait a minute. While the cap is still. God damn it, cat.
Which one? Which cat is that?
Just god damn it, cat. Seriously,
Seriously,
she's the fucking pain in the ass one.
is that the loaf one or the other one?
No, this is the fucking TV breaker.
Is that the one that broke your shoulder?
Yeah. Well, I like to blame her. I was reminded that cat litter isn't slippery. It's you know it's supposed to like catch stuff, right? Like if you don't slip on litter.
Right.
I still don't know because I still contend that I slipped on litter, but it's conceivable that it's because the shoes had no sole.
Do you have tile or hard? Is it a hard floor in your house?
It was well. This is the other place. It was cheap ass laminate shit. It wasn't even laminate. It was basically just a hard ass floor with fucking cheap. It wasn't laminate. It was like
Linoleum? I'm gonna tell you, like I have slipped on cat litter, like just the regular like white Johnny Cat or the crystal stuff on a hard floor surface.
Yeah, okay.
It's like sand. It's what it is. Like
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So like,
I'm with you. You definitely slipped on litter because
well, it's the shoe had no sole and the the floor was slick anyway. So yeah, I'm still blaming you for that. By the way, but I did recover the painting behind me. You see.
how's your shoulder, by the way?
Oh, I stopped going to physical therapy, but
But I mean, really, how is it?
it's not horrible. I mean, I see the thing. The good thing.
Do you
is
have like
that-
all the range of motion that you're
Not all
supposed
of
to?
it. Not all of it.
Well, that's why you're supposed to keep doing physical
Dude,
therapy.
I don't fucking care. For one thing, I'm the laziest, biggest, fattest slob
That's untrue.
in
Laziest?
the universe. I mean,
Probably
I
not.
ever reach up my arm except to do my deodorant thing, right? And even that was still. That's the biggest thing.
My dude, if you can't like,
See,
if you can't, you need to be able to scratch your back. Like that's motivation enough to go
no,
get your shit
nobody
taken
can
care of.
scratch. That's a law anyway. Even if I had full range, there's always going to be a spot. Okay,
Well-
Tommy thinks he's funny because he said McCain range. McCain couldn't even give it above his fucking shoulder, and it was both arms. Don't you fucking compare me to that fake. Get off. Hold on. This fucking cat's gonna be the death of me. Alright. I can't hear anything. You were running your mouth and you were.
Yeah, I hit the mute button. So I was gonna say I worked at a place in Phoenix that did. It was a nonprofit genetic research place that John McCain was on the board for, and he's actually a nice person. I don't like his politics very much. I liked his politics better in the '90s, which weren't great in hindsight either. But
Well,
I wish we had an entire Republican Party of John McCain's versus what the fuck we have in some of these places.
if you there's have you ever listened to the Dollop before?
Like once or twice.
That did one on McCain. I mean, the weather. He's basically a spoiled brat.
And by myself. That's interesting. Am I the leader now? It's hard to know.
What the fuck happened?
I don't know, but I was by myself, and I was like, well, I was by myself, but had no authority. So,
What was I talking
the dollop, John McCain.
about? Oh, yeah, and he's basically a spoiled brat. That was an admiral. He was reckless as fuck. He like apparently clipped, one of those the ski lifts. What are they called?
The ski lift.
The cars. Fuck. No, maybe it was a ski lift. He flew the plane too close and he cut the cables or whatever. So
White people
he
problem.
sucked. He's a shitty flyer in the first place, a shitty pilot, right?
I don't doubt it.
And not only that, and he kept getting because his dad was an admiral, right? He got caught because he sucks at flying. Okay, that was mainly why. So I mean, am I supposed to? I mean, and plus he fucking. Of course, you could all say every politician, Republican politician especially, always just gets money from lobbyists and does fucked up shit. Like the
Yeah.
savings and loan scandal, he was entwined with that shit.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that he's a Boy Scout. I
But
was just saying in the handful of interactions I had with him as like a person.
oh yeah, see that's always interesting. That's of course he's. I will say he never really seemed fake to me. I will say that he seemed confused sometimes because he was flip flopping. I think he was just trying to figure out a way to fucking. Well, how do I act like I like Bush even though he fucking circulated underground fucking flyers saying my what was it? His daughter was black or what was it? I don't remember. Some wild shit. Something about him having a black kid. I don't remember, but
Oh yeah, like back when that would have been.
oh, no, I knew if Trump taught us anything, he has taught us that absolutely will fucking sell, sir. So I'm gonna need you to retract that statement.
I will take it back. I just think it's hysterical in a sad, pathetic, rage-inducing, ironic way.
So anyway, I don't like hero worship generally, and have you seen? Oh God, there's so much I could fucking say about this shit. Have you seen? It's like Biden and Kamala hugging. They're all happy hugging, and
No,
in the clouds. Well, and you just trust me, it's like a drawing, like a painting thing, and they're all hugging and shit. And then in the clouds, it's fucking RBG, fucking
oh my god, I did see that picture.
John McCain. I don't even remember who else.
It was
Abraham
I do.
Lincoln.
No, it was John McCain, RBG. Oh my god, John. Oh my god, the guy from fucking Baltimore, like 45 minutes away.
Right. John Lewis.
John Lewis. Yes.
And the other, I hate to say it, the other short black bald. Was it Elijah Cummings? Is who?
Yes, it was. That's right.
Yeah, okay, that's what it was then.
That's
God,
right.
That's just gross on so many of those.
No, like, listen, I'm cool with the feel good stuff, and I'm cool with some of the cheese, but that's just no. Like, there's zero chance in hell. Like, let's just be honest, that Elijah Cumming and John, what was his name? I can't think.
Lewis.
I'm tired. Lewis, thank you. Would be celebrating these motherfuckers.
Yeah, there's no way in fuck.
I mean,
Well,
I think they'd probably be okay with Kamala because of the milestones and the progress with that aspect of it, but they wouldn't just be like, oh, like no,
yeah, it's hard.
fuck no.
I mean, it's just sick. I mean, I have issues with Kamala for reasons, and I get shit for him. But let's not go to there right now.
No, I got problems with both of them.
So, but the whole thing is just gross. I hate those pictures anyway because they remind me of some redneck grandma trailer trash shit. of those old school '80s photos and shit. You know what I'm
Oh,
talking
you
about?
mean like the ones you used to get at the mall, at like Sears or like
Yeah,
glamour
yeah,
shots?
yeah.
Where do you
I
have
was
a
like,
glamour?
it's
Did you ever have a glamour shot?
not a glamour shot. No. I wish
Sears.
it. That would be. But they have ones with cats. Have you seen these? Where like you know how the stupid you're facing forward and then you're facing like that.
Oh, where I'd be like,
The old school.
and then I'd be like, yeah.
Well, that's making a comeback. I'm sure you've noticed. You know, it's
Is it actually, or is it like
no,
memed
no, 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 no. They
in a real
that's
way?
what I'm saying. Yeah, because it's cats. It's cat
Oh,
people,
it's
and they're
just
making.
cats.
Well, I don't know. Maybe
They're
more
people.
people. Well, no, sir.
Be
It's a
clear.
picture of me
Okay.
holding my cat,
Okay.
and then the other ones, I'm profile up above with those cheesy. You know what the fuck I'm talking about.
But that's how it's supposed to be with cats and their owner.
Now there may be other instances, but I want to do one of those. Now holding both those cats is probably not going to happen. Well, I don't know. Maybe. One is fat, and the other one is funny. When you pick her up, she actually. Oh, and I'll tell you what. Lastly, Daniel Camellia. I'm sorry.
Kamala.
No, it's Kamala. Isn't it? I don't remember anyway.
That was Kamala.
Whatever. Maybe. I thought it was
Close enough.
Oh, Kamala. Well, now I'm saying it. Kamala K Dog stands
K money.
are the worst. And that sounds racist.
No, it didn't.
I just do that with everybody. But stands, which I just learned fairly recently, what it means. It was like from the song, the Eminem song. I was like, what the fuck? The only thing I could think of was Afghanistan, Kazakhstan. That's what I thought they were saying. The stands, like the region of that world or some shit. I don't fucking know. Anyway, um,
Your biggest fan, Stan.
yeah. Kamala. That's what he's saying. Kamala. Tommy's saying Kamala. Kellyanne Conway. So I don't know if
Oh, Lord.
this is the last. It's not. We're not going to go into her old shitty existence.
No, we're going into like the last 48 hours.
Right.
Yep.
So we just said what the fuck it stands, Daniel. Pay fucking attention, bruh. Damn.
Do yourself a favor
like
and just
obsessive fans.
go on YouTube and search for Eminem Stan,
Yeah.
and you'll get it.
Go to Urban Dictionary. I'll just.
No,
Anyway.
it's better.
Balls. Anyway,
Negative.
I keep forgetting what I was gonna say.
Kellyanne Conway, she made a really
So
awesome tweet.
So his daughter. Now it's publicly well known at this point that her daughter and her don't get along. The husband actually left, I believe.
Did he?
Yeah, I think he divorced her.
The Lincoln Project? It only like
hilarious.
it only took how long?
And this guy, of course, was a piece of shit too. But he was like, "Bitch, I'm done with you. I can't deal with this shit anymore." You know, that's pretty bad. So her daughter is still living with her, and her daughter is actually like lefty. I don't know lefty, but she's liberal. And
She's pretty left comparatively,
but
and underage, by the way.
Yes, that's part of that's important to the story. She's
It is.
16, and her and her mom argue all the time. She's trying to get emancipation, which is crazy to me. Which is like
Honestly, if Kellyanne Conway was my mom, I would be too.
yeah, I'd want. That's when you go to court and try to argue that you should be.
You don't even have to argue. You just take snippets off YouTube of your mom.
Well, right, but
standing
I'm saying it's basically you being able to leave your parents before you're 18 years old. It's like it's under extreme.
Having the authority of an 18-year-old.
Right.
Pre-18.
So anyway, she's just keep that as kind of the backdrop. So she's on TikTok. That's her thing. That's her platform. Apparently, her mother took a picture of her topless. Why you're doing that anyway? I don't know. That's
Did
some
she
shit.
take it or did she get it?
I thought she took it.
I genuinely don't know.
Well, I don't know. There's
She obtained it somehow.
somehow she got a picture of her topless and decided she's going to tweet that shit out. She took it down, but it was too late. I mean, you can't do that. Take that shit thing. The internet's forever, baby. You know.
See, that was like, I saw that happened at like, I saw the tweet about that at like 3 in the morning.
Was it Instagram?
No, it was Twitter tweet, because the way I found out is through, I saw somebody say exactly basically what you just explained and said, I was able to screen cap it before it was deleted. It's in the comments. And I was like, that's a mistake, because you don't put 16, you don't, first of all, you don't put anybody's topless anything in it anywhere, but
well,
without
Tony makes a good point and calls it revenge porn.
Oh, it is
porn.
That's a serious thing too.
And that's
like
actually child pornography, technically, if you think about
it. No, it definitely is, and depending on, I don't know if it's a federal. I'd have to look if it's a federal statute, but there's definitely state. I think there is a federal statute. I could be wrong, but there's definitely states that have major criminal criminal
I don't
stuff.
know if it's major criminal or what the, but it's you sharing pictures of a minor like that is like against at least one law, maybe more.
I know that in general, pretend it was like a boyfriend girlfriend, doesn't matter, like, and everyone's above like of age. Revenge porn, it is a felony. To release
as a
separate
matter, yeah. That as a separate thing too. But
on top of it,
right,
there's at least putting a minor.
And this is her own fucking mother, and she has gotten all kinds of shit. Now, of course, she's fucking wealthy and powerful. She'll never get convicted of shit. Right? Well, she might, but it'd be like fucking community service or some shit like that. But it's just, I mean, that just goes to show, and she'll be on Newsmax here soon, saying she's persecuted, that she was set up by fucking the deep state.
I was hacked. I was hacked. Yeah, it'll be fun when somebody gets a hold of that photo. Which, if it wasn't a minor, I would, and I'd pull the metadata off that and be like, here you go, FBI. Here's the phone and GPS coordinates and everything else of the person that took this, and then fuck Kellyanne Conway into oblivion. But I'm not searching for that shit. No, thank you.
All right, well, it's been over 2 hours. I think it's enough of us rambling this time.
Yeah, probably.
But Lyman's in. I'll have to beat him upside the head, maybe get Natalie to smack him. But we'll get him in line. They'll have more free time now.
Yeah.
So while I'm here, I want to make sure everybody remembers to go check out the page at /PodUnkMollyMath. The Podunk Molly Math / I can't even talk. Twitter. That's all. No. Fuck. It's Postmodern Polymath. I can't even fucking get it right. Postmodern Polymath, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. And he wants 1 more hour. Tommy, look, man, I got life. I got cats to pet. I need to get some beer. What's up? Anyway,
if you want to see random rants, you can follow me on Twitter at Lyman_Smith.
You looking at the king of white splaining. Let me go ahead and tell you there.
What? White splaining?
That's what I said.
White splaining?
Yeah.
What the fuck is a white splainer?
Okay, now you made it a white splainer. That's not good. You're just a splainer.
I
splain. You know there's mansplaining? You're just splaining. Just you don't distinguish. You're not like a sexist splainer.
No.
You just won't shut the fuck up sometimes.
Correct.
So, we'll just put that pin in that.
It's
anyway.
It's part of my
usual places. I don't have anything else. Pet your cats. Get your pets. Get your pets spayed or neutered.
Get your COVID vaccine when you can.
When you get your vaccine, when you can get around to it. Well, when you get it, I actually got on a list. I'll be the last fucker though, which is fine. I don't want to see y'all motherfuckers anytime soon anyway. All right. You got any last words there, Limey?
Nope. I think we
All
about
right.
covered it.
Well, until next time, y'all take it easy now. Okay.
See you later.